What's going on, guys? Main Event Matt here. Best pay-per-view ever. And when I say ever, I mean ever. Because this guy fucking won the championship. 14-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Triple H. He won the belt. He came out there. He threw Roman Reigns' bitch ass out of the ring. And the biggest news of all. This is even bigger than a CM Punk would have came back. AJ freaking Styles showed up. Yes, AJ Styles. God damn it, wrong camera. Over there, I got a picture of him on my wall. Yeah, and yeah, AJ Styles, second favorite wrestler of all time ever. He comes out at entrant number 3 in the Royal Rumble. That was, no pun intended, phenomenal. The rest of the entrants were complete crap. There was only 2 surprise entrants tonight, and that was, of course, AJ Styles and Sami Zayn, which was pretty cool too. Sami Zayn, AJ Styles had a cool spot there with Kevin Owens, and so did Sami Zayn, to where they just started fighting and hitting each other in the ring back and forth. And if you know anything about the independent scene, you know that AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have had a storied history, a storied rivalry over the past, if you will. And so Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, that's even been on NXT too. And when Sami Zayn came out there, of course, he went after Owens as well. Amazing freaking Royal Rumble match. It was awesome. I don't know why some people were in it, like freaking The Miz, Jack Swagger, Mark Henry, Titus O'Neil, he's Curtis Axel. There was a lot of jobbers. There was one guy, I believe, that only lasted like 15 seconds. I think it was Swagger. Like, right when he got in the ring, Brock just F5s him and then throws him over the ropes. Oh, yeah, and then sometime throughout the match, the whole Wyatt family comes out there, and they just start mugging everyone. And then all of a sudden, Brock's music hits, of course. Brock comes down to the ring, takes out the whole Wyatt family. Big spot, he freaking knocks Braun Strowman off his feet. He's the first one, I believe, to be able to do that by himself. So Brock's the first single individual to knock Braun Strowman off his feet. Good call. Brock was the one to do it. Also, Brown Snowman freaking locked Big Show in that sleeper hold thing, made Big Show pass out, and then put him over the ropes. I guess that was pretty impressive. He eliminated Mark Henry too, I believe. He eliminated both those giant fuckers that no one cares about. Kane was in the Rumble, which no one cares about. Like I said, AJ Styles was in the Rumble. Everyone cares about AJ Styles. No one cares about Kane anymore. Or freaking, the worst one, Ryback. Oh, that was awful. Ryback comes out there. That's just a solid boo. Nothing else, just a solid boo. And then, of course, towards the end, we get the final entrance. Dolph Ziggler comes out at 28. Yawn. 29 is Sheamus. Yawn. And then, of course, 30, which was one of my numbers, because I did like this random number generator for the Rumble where I got 3 numbers. And one of my numbers was, of course, number 30, and that was my boy, the game, Triple H. He actually used to be my favorite wrestler when I was younger growing up. So to see him come out there and win the championship, and now for me to go to Mania this next year, and for him to have the belt more than likely at Mania, that's freaking awesome. Triple H is going to have the title. He won tonight. He eliminated Roman Reigns, threw his bitch ass over the ropes. Suck it, suck it, suck it, suck it, fucker. And it ended up coming down to Triple H and Dean Ambrose. They were the final 2 in the ring. Triple H ended up eliminating Dean Ambrose. And for a while there, I thought Ambrose was actually going to win the freaking match. And then, spoiler alert, become Intercontinental Champion and WWE Champion. He won the match earlier. That kicked off the show. But, and then sometime earlier in the match, Roman Reigns ended up getting drugged to the outside, not over the ropes, so he wasn't eliminated. By the League of Nations. The League of Nations beat him down. They all hit their finishing kicks on him. And then they put him through the French announce table, I believe, or maybe it's the Spanish, I don't know. One of those 2. Rusev ran across the other 2 announce tables, which I knew when there's 3 right in a row, something was going to happen with all 3 of them. And of course, they run across all 3. And when they run across the first 2, Rusev does, and then splashes onto Roman, putting him through the 3rd one. Which I'm sitting here thinking that doesn't really do much damage. I mean, Roman gets freaking carried off. He has to go to the back. Then instead of getting carried off, he decides to walk to the back like a little pansy. Roman Reigns is supposed to be so good and he can walk. Why didn't he get back in the Rumble? Because he's a little piece of shit. Roman Reigns runs off all the way till entrant number 29. Then he comes back in the ring. He Superman punches Sheamus and then comes back in the ring like a little faggot. And but he ended up getting eliminated by Triple H, thankfully. But yeah, this Royal Rumble was just crazy. That's why I couldn't wait. I had to talk about it first. Of course, there was other matches on the card. To kick off the show, we had Vince's arrival. He comes out there and I don't even remember what he talks about. He just shows up for no reason, I think, just so we know he's there, I guess. The first match on the card was actually really awesome. It turned into basically a bit of a TLC match, just without the ladders. There was a ton of chairs, a ton of tables in this match. Dean Ambrose, Kevin Owens, last man standing for the Intercontinental Championship. There was so much ridiculous stuff that happened in this match. Okay, let's kick off the freaking match. It just turns into a complete brawl, and it's like full speed, full pace the whole freaking time. Ambrose hits a suicide dive to the outside onto Kevin Owens, knocking Owens over the regular announce table. And when Kevin Owens gets knocked over, he takes out Michael Cole, and he's knocked Michael Cole down there with him. And he rips off Michael Cole's glasses and like tosses them to the side. And then Dean Ambrose picks up Michael Cole's phone and just drops it. Then Kevin Owens grabs Michael Cole's laptop, or his MacBook, whatever the hell you want to call it, and hits Dean Ambrose in the stomach with it. That was pretty good. I believe there was a kendo stick introduced into the match by Ambrose, I believe. And Ambrose starts beating Kevin Owens with the kendo stick. Then Kevin Owens counters it, throws Dean Ambrose up against the barricade, and then does a running cannonball from clear across one side of the ground or stage ring area over to the other side and puts him through the barricade with the cannonball. So the barricade's already broken this match. Somehow, magically, they just set it right back up. But the barricade's already broken in the first match within like 5 minutes. Then they start getting out tables. And there's a lot of freaking tables. I can't remember all the freaking table spots. The first one got broken. Dean Ambrose did a diving elbow through the table to the outside by the announcer's tables, while Kevin Owens was laying on a table, and that got a freaking holy shit reaction. So if that gets a holy shit reaction, wait till you hear this one. Kevin Owens ends up hitting a Sidewinder suplex off the top freaking... I don't know if it's called the Sidewinder. I don't know. It's that weird one that he does off the top rope, where he like hooks his arm and grabs you to spin sideways, and he ended up falling through the table with Ambrose. Ambrose ends up getting up before the 10 count, and he's like staggering on his feet. Earlier in the match before that, Dean Ambrose hit 2 Dirty Deeds back to back, and Kevin Owens got up after them. So just imagine, these two were back in the Rumble, so this is just ridiculous. Then Kevin Owens ends up hitting a pop-up powerbomb onto Dean Ambrose. Dean Ambrose gets back up. I believe that was all the table spots. And then there were so many times where they just rammed each other into the steel steps. One point they just completely knocked the steel steps over, and it was ridiculous. And then Michael Cole's like, oh my god, he just threw him into the bear trap, or that might have been Byron Saxton. Yes, he threw Dean Ambrose got hit with his own bear trap. But, and then Kevin Owens gets all these chairs set up, lines them all up in a row, sets them on top of each other, you know, like the chair table that they use, except this is like a big one, like the 3 in a row. And then Kevin Owens lays Dean Ambrose on the chairs. Kevin Owens goes to the top rope. He's looking to do a moonsault. Then all of a sudden, Dean Ambrose gets up, shoves him off backwards to the outside. And when he does that, Kevin Owens does a front flip through the 2 stack of tables that was out there. Kevin Owens, clear back at the start of the match, stacked 2 tables up outside, up against the ring post on the outside, like in between the corner barricade and the ring post. He set up 2 tables up there. And Kevin Owens ends up flying off, front flips through both the tables, and he can't make the 10 count. A funny thing to add earlier in the freaking show, when Kevin Owens was setting up those tables, some fan asked him if he was setting up for his Thanksgiving feast or something like that. And he's like, no stupid, what did he call him? Did he say dumbass? I can't remember what he called him. I don't think he did. But he said, no, stupid. Uh, Thanksgiving is in November. Or was it moron? He said something like, Thanksgiving in November, moron. Or something like that. And it was funny. It was a funny comment. Then after that, we had a really good match between the New Day and the Usos, which of course no one wants the Usos to win because New Day rocks. New Day rocks. New Day rocks. Something I didn't add about the Royal Rumble. Kofi Kingston was one of the members in the Rumble. And what he did is Kofi was about to get eliminated by Brock. No, it wasn't Brock. No, it wasn't Brock. Kofi was about to get eliminated by someone, and then Big E came over there and made it to where Kofi landed on his shoulders, and then Big E started running around the ring with Kofi on his shoulders, and then they went over to one of these fans, and they took his pop and his popcorn. They're just eating it out there, watching the match while Kofi is sitting on Big E's shoulders. That was freaking hilarious. Kofi ended up getting eliminated, by the way. But New Day versus the Usos. This was a really good match. It had a crazy freaking finish. Big E freaking caught the Uso out in midair when Uso was going for the Uso splash. Big E runs in the ring and gets him with a catch big ending, and it was freaking awesome. I jumped out of my freaking chair there and I screamed, "Let's go, E!" because that was just awesome, and I was afraid that the Usos were gonna win. There was one really close spot to where the Usos almost won. And they connected with a super kick. One of them did, and the other one did the Uso splash while Big E was taken out on the outside. And at the 2 count, Kofi slid his foot under the ropes, which I was freaking out. I thought the freaking Usos were going to win the damn belts. But if you see my predictions video earlier that I did on the other channel with a special guest, you can go watch it and see it. But I believe I did 4-1 tonight. I believe so. Right? 4-1 maybe. Yeah, 4-1. 4-2. 4-2 because I got the kickoff wrong and I got the Divas match wrong. I knew Charlotte was gonna win. For some reason I just picked Becky. But I got those 2 matches wrong. And yeah, like I said, this tag team match was awesome. But speaking of the Divas, they have a really good match. I believe that's the final match. Until then, Wyatt family cuts a promo. And we get Alberto versus Kalisto, where Kalisto wins the title back. They're turning this championship into the jobber title. Next thing you know, freaking, who's going to win it next? Fandango. He's going to win the freaking United States title next. Kalisto wins it back. He's now a 2-time champ. Yay! Lucha, 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 lucha. Fuck you. Kalisto wins the belt back. I picked it. So, I got it right, but it was completely stupid. How much you want to bet Alberto wins the title back tomorrow night on Raw? They just throw it back and forth because they don't care, and those 2 wrestlers suck. So, that match was complete boring. I will add the only interesting thing that happened, I believe, was, what was I don't even remember what the interesting thing was. I don't think there was one. Oh, Alberto uncovered this is how he won. Alberto uncovered the turnbuckle padding, which I guessed it 1,000,000 times. And then Kalisto gets thrown into the corner. Kalisto moves out of the way. Alberto's head connects with the turnbuckle. And Kalisto hits the Salida del Sol for the 2nd time and gets the victory. So, no one cares. Moving on to what I was going to talk about. The Divas match, which was freaking awesome. Becky Lynch, Charlotte. Really good match. Becky Lynch at one point even went for the freaking figure 4. And then on the outside, Charlotte's trying to get the distraction because Becky's beating her ass. So she puts Ric Flair in front of her, and then she tries to capitalize. Charlotte tries to go for a big boot like she did on Raw a couple weeks ago, or last week, whatever. And then Becky ducks it, knocks down Charlotte. Then Ric Flair puts his hands on Becky, and I was thinking, is Rick really going to hit Becky? But no, he freaking kisses her. The old man kisses Becky Lynch. She probably got some of his wrinkle fat in her freaking mouth. That was disgusting. Whoa! I will admit it was kind of funny. But then they throw him back in the ring. Charlotte ends up going for the figure 4. Or the figure 8. Becky punches her in the face to break it. Then Becky goes for the figure 8. Charlotte counters out of that into a roll-up. They kick out. Charlotte hits a big spear in the match. Becky hits a few suplexes. Then they have this one spot to where Becky's like up on the top rope. She grabs Charlotte's arm, rolls down out of the corner into an arm bar. And I was thinking, why wouldn't you do the disarmer at that point? If she rolled down to the disarmer, I would have thought for sure she was going to tap, and that would have been a great spot. But no, they do the arm bar, so I'm thinking, yeah, she's not going to tap at the regular freaking submission move. No one taps the regular submission moves, besides Nia Jax against Bayley in that one match. But that's besides the point. That's on NXT, if anyone remembers that even. But, then Charlotte ends up getting the win because Becky's rolled her over into the disarmor, okay? Then Ric Flair gets up on the apron. After the miscue here where you think Becky's going to win, because Becky's going to drop kick Charlotte. Charlotte's going to drop kick Becky. Becky moves out of the way. Charlotte kicks Ric Flair down, her dad. And then there's a bit of a miscue there. Becky rolls her up, gets a 2 count. Then Becky locks her in the disarmor. And then Ric Flair gets up on the apron, throws his coat jacket on top of the face of Becky Lynch so Becky can't see, so she rips the jacket off, gets in Ric Flair's face. And then when the ref's tending with Ric Flair, Charlotte rakes the eyes of Becky Lynch and then hits her with a spear and gets the victory. So all I'm going to say is I hope to hell Charlotte doesn't use the spear as a finisher now, other than the figure 8. She needs to use the natural selection like she used to if she's going to use another freaking finisher that's not submission. Because I cannot stand people that use spears because they're so overused now. I liked Edge when he did the spear. Anyone else, Roman does a good spear, but he doesn't need to do it because there's so many other people that do it, and it's annoying. And then when Christian started doing it, that just made things worse. Caitlyn did it too. Diva, if you remember her, you might be able to see the picture on the wall. No, you can't. But you can see it in the predictions video if you go back and watch that. But then after the match, Charlotte proceeds to attack Becky Lynch, and they're taking forever to wrap this up. So I'm kind of thinking, okay, something's going to happen. I'm expecting Paige to come out, to Becky Lynch's aid. But no, we get a big swerve here. Everyone thought Sasha Banks was injured. We all thought she was injured. That was a play. Sasha Banks comes down. She shakes hands with Charlotte, kicks Becky out of the ring, tells Becky to get out of her spotlight. And then we think it's all good. Charlotte's going to walk out of the ring. Then Sasha from behind goes up, hits the backstabber, rolls it over into the bank statement, and makes Charlotte pass out in the bank statement. So that's another great match that's going to set up for WrestleMania, which is going to be awesome. There's already great matches. I'm so hyped for this. It's ridiculous. AJ Styles is going to be at Mania. Freaking Triple H is going to be the champion at Mania, so he's going to be in the main event. We're going to get freaking Sasha Banks versus Charlotte, which is going to be awesome. But, yeah, this is set up great. I love this Royal Rumble. Like, even though I hated Alberto versus Kalisto, it still didn't even put a dent in the pay-per-view. Like, it didn't even scratch the pay-per-view on how great it was. Like, it didn't do shit to the pay-per-view. It can have one bad match if the rest of the stuff is phenomenal. But, that was great. I'm happy as hell that Sasha's going to fight Charlotte at Mania, because that's going to be great. And then, of course, all that was left was the Royal Rumble match, which, like I said, AJ Styles freaking debuted. That's all you need to know, and then it's already a killer pay-per-view. If you don't know who AJ Styles is, go type him in on Google or whatever, and then go find a video. He's freaking the face of TNA. He's like the John Cena of TNA wrestling, but he's actually a good wrestler. And then besides that, he's been in ROH, New Japan, the ROH and New Japan. Or those like the 4 companies that you can go to. So he's been in 3 of them, now 4. So now with Austin Aries in NXT, AJ Styles on the main roster, Samoa Joe in NXT, Sami Zayn in NXT, Kevin Owens on the main roster, possibly Daniel Bryan coming back. This is just getting ridiculous. It's full of indie talent, and it's freaking awesome. Like I said, AJ Styles appeared at the Rumble. I don't think there's been a time in my life watching wrestling that I've been more excited than for AJ Styles coming out, to be honest. I mean, I flipped out when Paige debuted on the main roster and won the belt. That was probably about the last time I flipped out a bunch. But this tonight, This was probably the best thing that could have happened. Triple H win the title, yeah, that's cool. I was wanting Triple H to win, but I guessed that. Having AJ Styles come out at number 3 and square off one-on-one with Roman Reigns was freaking awesome. AJ Styles also went through all his freaking moves in the match, which was crazy. Teased hitting a freaking Styles Clash, which would have been great. Did he hit a Styles Clash? He about did, but then Kevin Owens super kicked him. Yeah, Kevin Owens was the one to eliminate AJ Styles, which I was completely fine with. Um, Kevin Owens super kicked AJ when he was going for the Styles Clash, and then said "Welcome to the WWE," which like out of context, that was like a real welcome to the WWE, which I thought was great. And the Young Bucks, of course, tweeted about it, which I seen that, and I had to comment and everything. The Young Bucks were talking about how the huge storybook career has now come to a full circle, and AJ Styles has now reached his peak, which is exactly what it was. AJ Styles, like I said, my second favorite wrestler of all time, right behind CM Punk. But I don't know. Honestly, at this point, I might like AJ Styles more than CM Punk. They've always been neck and neck, and I don't know. AJ being in the WWE, though, that's something that I did not predict, to be honest. I dreamed about having that, but I did not predict that. Like, the AJ Styles coming to the WWE is just crazy. That would be like freaking Super Cena going to TNA. Maybe not quite as big, but still freaking crazy. AJ Styles, I can't wait for Raw tomorrow night. Now that AJ Styles is on the freaking roster, that just... Okay, you guys get the point. Royal Rumble was freaking amazing. Best pay-per-view of all time. If you didn't like it, you're just completely stupid, or you don't know who AJ Styles is. Which, if you don't know who AJ Styles is, then you have some issues. But, amazing match. Freaking fun. Every match was awesome. Kalisto versus Alberto, like I said, I don't even care about that match. The rest of the matches were awesome. Intercontinental Championship match, freaking awesome. We don't need to talk about the kickoff because that was complete trash. I didn't watch the kickoff. But the Intercontinental title match was awesome. The Divas match was awesome. The Tag Titles match was awesome. And the Royal Rumble was freaking phenomenal.